boom, live stream. There we go. So I want to say good afternoon to everyone. We're going to do a little experimentation today. This all has to do with that having a guest on that intake sheet type thing. Put a little bit more light on the situation. So here's the story is that on Monday, and that's going to be January 13th, 14th, 16th or so, we're going to have a guest on, and his name is Seth. And what I'd like to do is just to make sure that we got all of this set up to go and do. In other words, want to make sure that we set this up properly where it makes the most amount of sense for, you guessed it, for him, for our guest. That's right. For our guest. Let's go back over here. All right. So let's go comments. We got that. Nice. All right. So here's what we're talking about. One is that I gave him a call yesterday. His name is Seth. Why did I choose him? Well, because there was a few commonalities amongst us. One of them being that he's a DTM, a Distinguished Toastmaster, part of Toastmasters. So that was a factor that got tossed in there. He talks about communication skills besides his regular job, but he talks about communication skills. He's got a seminar coming up, so he's motivated to do another program. And I called him up and I figured, look, if this guy's a DTM, a Distinguished Toastmaster, which means he's been involved with Toastmasters for quite a few years, he has the desire to continue on that path of becoming a better communicator by doing a lot of work. That DTM is actually a lot of work. If you do it really, really super fast, it'll still take you 4 years. I don't know what the most people answer is. For me, it took me 5 years, and there's a few other considerations to get tossed in there. Others never even attempt it. It is definitely a long process to do. Real brief. This is not really what we want to talk about, but to become a Distinguished Toastmaster, you wind up having to give hundreds of speeches. You need to mentor people, fellow members. You need to mentor, start, or coach another club, a startup club or a struggling club. You also need to be a district officer, so you need to get involved in something at a higher level than the club. You also need to be an officer. There's a few other little factors that get tossed into that equation. I did it. I did it through a lot of mentoring. My biggest project that I did as part of that, besides helping the Long Island clubs, which was about 32 at the time, is that I also ran the conference. We have a conference once every 6 months. I did that. It was actually a lot of years ago already. It was in 2009. That's like a lifetime ago, but I did that conference and to a success. So anyhow, I know it's a lot of work. He knows it's a lot of work. Well, now you might know that it's a lot of work, and it really is. So wanted to figured he would make for a good guest, easy enough to have on to do the program. So that was kind of cool, and that's where that's at. So anyhow, I gave him a call. I asked him if he was interested in joining us. His answer was yes, absolutely was, and there we go. So tomorrow, Monday, he'll be on there. So what I shared with him, though, was the idea that was the whole idea of coming on and promoting his program amongst other things. So we're going to be doing that. So that's where that story is. So now my little learning curve that's getting tossed in over here is that where do you send those people? So I spoke with Seth. I said, look, this is what I'm doing. I've been doing it for 2 years on a daily basis. He was impressed by that one. Have guests on sometimes, not other times. Told him we're working with StreamYard. Told him on this new path over here to have guests on again, figuring it out a little bit differently. What is different now that wasn't then, and I see that it is working, at least I believe that it is working, is that I wanted to get to be able to send them to a page in order to make comments. So the question is, what page? And right now I'm just kind of jumping around over here to see if I could go and work through this whole thing. So I could either send it to my right now I only have it on 3 places. My personal Facebook page. There we go. My personal Facebook page. My personal Facebook page. Let's get rid of that. And my personal Facebook page. I'm sorry, I just started playing the video on YouTube. Personal Facebook page, Strategies of Success Facebook page. And then the other place I've been putting it out is on YouTube. Now, if you were Seth and you were going to send your people to listen to him on my program, where do you think it actually looks best for him? And I think that answer right now is going to be the Facebook page for Strategies of Success. LinkedIn, I don't have that, I haven't used that yet. So that's it. And the YouTube page, not as pretty as it could be. Kind of working through that little process. So that's it. So here's the point of it. Not so much as what I'm going through, but here's the point of it on your side. If you're going to send somebody to listen to your show or to comment live to your program, where would you send them to? Where would you send them to? Take a look at your Facebook page. Facebook. Look, we all got started with Facebook. Maybe it was not business because we did LinkedIn on business. But you had your Facebook page is where you had most of your followers. So that's there. But it also has, vacation photos, some of the other things that are not pure business. So does it make sense to send people there? Probably not. Probably not. Some of it depends upon the program you're doing, but probably not. You're best off, I think, sending them to someplace that's dedicated more toward the business environment. Right now, my Facebook Strategies of Success page is more geared that way. I will obviously go through it to make sure that it's fairly clean and doing it that way. Your LinkedIn page. A lot of what I do on this program is probably not LinkedIn. I don't know. LinkedIn suitable? That's a question. What in the world is suitable nowadays, right? Where where is that? A little balance in there about suitability. I don't know. A little bit. It's off the cuff. So that's a possibility. We look into maybe look into doing that. But I wanted to choose something that was appropriate and accessible and followers. So when I had the conversation with him, I had asked him where most of his followers were. And he's like, his answer was LinkedIn and Facebook, were the two. So I asked him about, driving everybody to Facebook, and he had no problem doing that. So that's what we're going to be. But we certainly want to take a look at that. So now here's the other thing too. So when I'm promoting this thing, right, I'm going to be sending people to the strategies page. Make sense? Absolutely. Because now when I'm promoting it, and I'm going to work through that, and I'm going to see if I get somebody on to actually show you how to use the system that I'm going to use. So I'm hoping to be able to do that, tomorrow, because tomorrow's Friday. Otherwise, I'll just do it. And so to promote it out. So the same promotional item I'm going to use about Monday's program is going to be the same one that he's using for Monday's program. So that's why I want to have it there. Click on this link in order to listen to the show and comment in real time, which also goes back to that conversation I had with you about, do you tape or not tape? That is the question. Secondary question with that is, do you want to have comments coming in from the outside or not? think about that one. Do you want to hear comments or at least read comments from your guests? I'm sorry, from the folks that are listening to the program. You might and might not want to. Kind of depends. So now, if you're in a studio or if you're doing this and you're recording it, there's no live guests. There's no live comments coming through. It's just going to be you and the guest. Is that better or worse? I tend to think it's depends. I'm going to go with it depends. Okay, so here's the story. If I have you on as a guest and I want to do a clear cut program, I know exactly what it is that I want to talk about. I know exactly what direction I want to take the thing in. And, we're chatting and, we've got the communication thing going on. We're both on the same page. We got a groove happening. Everything's really good when it comes to that. And then we take a guest question comment that's there because they could see the comments just as much as I could see the comments. Now all of a sudden I might start losing control of that conversation. The person who's making the comment might say something in there that the guest would rather talk about, not so much as I, or something I want to get to at a slightly later time frame in there. So that's a consideration that comes up with it. The other side of that, why it is exciting to have live comments come through, as it does over there, thanks to Karen, my wife, for joining in on this one, is the fact that you get a chance to interact with more people. It makes it a bit more, I think, exciting for people to listen to because we're paying attention to the guests over there. So we can certainly state the fact that, hey, Karen says hello, or we can even go further with that. And I can now put the comments, boom, right up over there on the screen. So that could be something there too. So now Seth wants to promote his program for next Wednesday, that Improv to Improve, which I absolutely love that name. I think I've used that Improv to Improve title on some seminars that I've given. I forget where. I got that someplace. It's been a long time since I've covered some of those topics, but still got it in there. It's all about communication skills, right? That's the common thread as that goes. But now Seth is on the program. Why? Because he likes me? No. He's on the program. Same thing. He accepted it because of what I've been doing. I got the credibility to do it with both in Toastmasters. Always nice to support someone who is part of that group. Get it? But he's also looking to promote his seminar on next Wednesday. So I think that for him, live is better. Certainly has to go out and be, get done beforehand. And with thinking about that, do we do it live with comments or recorded with no comments? In his case, I think definitely live with comments. He's going to reach out to his folks that much more to tune in, listen in, to join us while he's recording. It is going to create more engagement. That'll be better. It'll also get the program, his program, not mine, his program, in front of more eyes, more potential people to attend his seminar. So yeah, he's much more excited about doing this thing live, much more excited about the live comments as opposed to recording it and then just playing it out at a later date. So that's where that one goes. And that's where it's at. So now the content of the show, it's going to be the same kind of thing, whereas we're talking about advancing through obstacles. So the man is an engineer, so he gears a lot of what he does to communicating for engineers. Yes, communicating for engineers that speak engineers speak, not for the rest of the public. So there is one story, though, that I will most probably tell, unless he tells it first. But there's one story I will probably tell about an engineer who retired, and then he moved out west someplace, small town, and then he got involved with the town, and he was involved with one of the engineering projects structural things that are going on with that town. Then what happened, which he never thought was going to happen, he wound up on camera. There was a flood in the town. And he was the one who had the most credibility to talk about what was going on, what steps were being taken in order to mitigate the flood, and to talk about the infrastructure of the town. All of a sudden, he became the guy on camera. And he was not expecting that. Keep that in mind for you when you're out there and you're like, oh, well, communication skills, not that important. I don't have to really be that comfortable to speaking on Zoom or anything like that. Yeah, speaking in front of small groups, but you just never know. You just never know when something's going to happen. And all of a sudden, you're going to find that you need to use improv in order to improve yourself, practicing your listening and speaking skills quickly and dealing with things on a quicker basis. But you just never know. My world, I've had opportunities pop up, didn't plan on them. Hey, it didn't even put myself in a position to even know what those opportunities were going to be. It just happened. And I saw what I felt was a reason to go and communicate this situation out to different people. The firm I was with at the time agreed, and I had a nice project for the summer talking about stuff that nobody else really wanted to talk about. So I was like, all right, it's a tough topic. That's fine. I'm good in front of a group of people. I had the confidence to do it. It's all through Toastmasters, and I did it. It was an opportunity, an unexpected opportunity. That engineer had an unexpected, we can call it an opportunity, but it was definitely an unexpected moment in his career that he had to deal with, and he had to deal with. And those things come up quite frequently, right? There's issues that come up. All of a sudden, somebody falters, and you're sitting there thinking, somebody's got to say something. Somebody's got to do something. And that's when you need to be ready to do it. So that's where the big focus of that is. That's why I totally agree with his seminar. But still, it comes down to how are you making it easier and more appropriate for your guests to be on your show, and for them to share it, and for them to want to, not maybe they will, but for them to want to put their guests into into a live stream over here. So that's where that goes. All right, so now I know that we can make comments on both Facebook, the strategies page of Facebook, and I'm just going to do that right now. This is on strategies. So I'm just going to write strategies page just to make sure I got this thing working. That's good. And then I'm going to go to my personal page and put it there. Personal page. And then I want to go to LinkedIn. LinkedIn, can I do this? Can I comment on this? That's a question, my friends. Can I comment on it? Edit video, save comment. I don't see where I could put comments in over here. Oh, there we go. Say something. YouTube. How's that for creative, right? Talking to a guy who does a lot of speaking. What did I say? I said YouTube. And there we go. Nice. So we're all set that way. All right. And then the other thing I was taking a look at over here is lighting. Is that good or bad? I think that's a little too bright on that side. Let's go over here. Let's go over here. There we go. I think that's okay. This side is still brighter. Look at that. There we go. That probably is the best one. That way, a little indirect lighting as that works as it goes. And we got a few things that are colorful behind us. Get that book over there. Get your shift together. Another one is 3 Feet from Gold. That was a Greg Reed book. Yeah, 3 Feet from Gold. That's part of that motivational series. And another book that was given to me by a good friend of mine, Margaret Marshall, that had to do with Toastmasters. And then a little banner up there for Take Steps for the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. Other than that, little light on this side. We're gonna work on something over there. We got the logo together. We got everything together. It's all pretty good. So I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty pumped up about this whole thing. Now we're gonna finish up on that. We're gonna finish up on that intake sheet form. So let's see if we can jump over there right now. Actually, and we can throw an additional note on that one. So let's go. Speaker sheet, intake sheet, good. Let's open that. Let's go back to StreamYard. Did it open? Yeah, I think it did. Share screen, Chrome tab. Didn't open yet. Mail. My files, OneDrive. There we go. Recent. There we go. Okay. And let's make this bigger than what it is. This way we can read it. Bold. Fantastic. I'm going to screen share with you. There we go. All right. Good. And creating a marketing piece, which we kind of covered up there, right? It's the headshot, bio, release, and stuff like that. But it's not really what we're talking about over there as to creating a marketing piece. So here's what you need. One, title of episode, we'll call it, because I'm not changing Tomato Talk. Episode. Perhaps, nice job of typing. To how, so in other words, now you need to, why should people listen, right? Why should others listen? Now, generally, when I start my speeches, I start off with more of a question, but this may or may not be. We're going to work on that one. Why should they listen? Kind of like, why should they listen? And then how? How? You got to get that out there really quick. How? Where can they go? All right. Where to listen, or in this case, comment. Now, if they could comment, I would highlight that because that makes it a little bit different. Because all they're going to do is listen. They could listen at any time. If they're going to comment, they're going to comment on the live broadcast. Maybe, maybe that. Why should they listen? It's live. That might be an answer. How to listen and comment. That's good. And then also the credibility of the guest. Credibility of guest. So it's why should they listen to your show and why should they listen to the guest? All in one fell swoop over there. How much space do you have? Not much. You've got a paragraph. It's got to be clear and it's got to be interesting and it's got to be it's got to grab somebody's attention. So the photo, that all important photo is going to mean something. All right. Now, here's the other thing with, social media, the rest of that stuff. So I use Social Post Buddy in order to make that work for me. And so that's where I got the basic of it. What'll happen is that I'll write it up. I'll send it to him, see if it's good for him. We'll put it on the different sites and the rest of that stuff, assuming it's good. And then suggest to our guest that he comment on it. Comment. And his comment is then something I could further comment on also. So I could reference the fact that he's got the seminar coming up. He could put more details in that thing about what that seminar is going to be. And then I could then comment on it, from there. So you could use a little bit more additional space, but that initial ad that you're going to put together, the initial marketing piece that you're going to put together for it, that one's got to be clear and concise, without a doubt. The picture that you use, make sure it's something that tells a story. If it's just a flat out headshot, I don't know. I got to see what he sent over to me to see what we can use with it. But remember what David did? David Chemetsky? His profile, his headshot, the photos that he sent to me, They had the bat in there. Remember? That's the name of his program, right? Peace, love, and bring a bat. So it was very visual. It wasn't just a picture of David. It was a picture of David's story. It was all inclusive on that one. So think about that too. If you're using a headshot, you need a headshot, right? Just a flat out formal headshot. But then also you might want to do that one that's a little bit more fun, one that tells your story a little bit more so. So if I were to do one, I got a couple. I got the microphone that I've, sitting down. I got the microphone and I'm on a set doing that. So it's not just a kind of multicolored type background doing that. Put some time, energy, and effort into that. You definitely want to make that one work out well and work well to your advantage. Also, take into consideration. We're going to stop the sharing at this point in time. You also want to take into consideration size. Yes, size of that photo. Sometimes you need a landscape photo. Other times a portrait photo. Sometimes it's a small photo that gets included in that. Other times it's perhaps a larger one. So when I did this logo over here for Tomato Talk, needed it to be adaptable to different sizes. So it's a different color lettering that's on the tomato, and that's not the best of logos. That was something I made. I didn't get that one done professionally, but it needed to be something that could be different sizes. So even if that's smaller, you could still read Tomato Talk. If it's larger, obviously it's easy to read. If it's big and I have a lot of space, I have another one that includes the tomato and then some writing on the other side, which explains out what tomato, Tomato, is actually an acronym for. So got different places to do that. From promoting the show, I'm promoting the show, not me, so my photo doesn't really count. If I'm going to be a guest on somebody else's show, well, now all of a sudden my photo does count. Maybe I should take a photo with me holding a tomato, or make it look like I'm holding that logo, doing something like that. But go work through that. Sometimes Photoshop is certainly a good thing in order for you to use. So there's a number of considerations that go into having a guest and also being a guest. And being a guest, let's see, maybe we'll discuss that one going forward. But let's just all look at it from your point of view. Your point of view, you want your show to be the best it possibly can be. You want to make sure that your guest is excited about being on. All right. How are they going to be excited about being on? You gave them the tools that they need in order for them to promote the show. Whether they do or don't, you're giving them the tools to do it. Make it work that way. Second thing is you're asking them what message that they want to deliver. Clear and concise, my friends. Why do you want to be on the show? What is it? Some people don't really care about what message they deliver. I don't know if that's really true, but I've gotten those comments. Others are looking to actually promote an event. Seth is looking to deliver a message and promote an event. Which one's more important to him? We'll see what happens. We'll see what it really says. I don't know. But doing that. Also, what I'll probably look to do is to go and see if I can find a program that he's been on. Then I could go and speak to him before we go live. Say, look, I listened to you on show. Great point you made. Now he knows that I put some more research into it. Now he knows again that I care about him being on the show and that I put time into it. That's where you're going to be your best. When that guest is excited about being a part of your story. That's what it's all about. That's how things get shared. That's how you grow. That's how it happens. That's how it happens. Now you're part of it. What you need to do, 3 things. Speak well, speak often, and always, always, always live inspired.